It's a poem for Newark called In Town. In town. Something in the way of things. Something that will quit and won't start. Something you know but can't stand, can't know, but get along with. Like death riding on top of the car, peering through the windshield for his cue. Something entirely fictitious and true that creeps across your path, hallooing your evil ways like they were yourself, passing yourself, not smiling. The dead guy you saw me talking to is your boss. I tried to put a spell on him, but his spirit is illiterate. I know things you know and nothing you don't know, except I saw something in the way of things, something grinning at me. And I wanted to know, was it funny? Was it so funny it followed me down the street, greeting everybody like the good humor man? And they got to taste the good humor, but no ice cream. It was like that, me talking across people into the houses and not seeing the beings crowding around me with ice picks. You could see them. But they looked like important Negroes on the way to your funeral. They looked like important jigaboos on the way to your auction. They let them chant the numbers and use an ivory pointer to count your teeth. Remember Step and Fetch It? How we laughed knowing it was Sunday school images given flesh and jiggling with the ice pick high over his head. Made you laugh anyway. I can see something in the way of ourselves. That's why I say the things I do. You know it. But it's something else to you. Like that job this morning when you got there, it was quiet and the machines were yearning soft behind you, yearning for their nigga to come up and give his life. Standing there being dissed and broke and troubled. My mistake is I kept saying that was proof God didn't exist. And you told me, no, it was proof that the devil do. But still, it's like I see something, I hear things. I saw words in the white boy's lying rags say you was gonna die poor and frustrated, that them dreams walk with you across town is gonna die from the Lord. That the garbage on the street is telling you you ain't shit. You almost believe it. Broke and mistaken all the time. You know some of the words, but they ain't the right ones. Your cable back on, but ain't nothing on it you can see. But I see something in the way of things, something make us stumble, something get us drunk from noise and addicted to sadness. I see something and feel something stalking us, like an ugly thing floating at our back, calling us names. You see it, hear it too, but you say it got a right to exist just like you, and if God made it, but then you got to argue. And the light gonna come down around us, even though we remember where the bank is. We remember the Negro squinting at us through the cage. You see what I see too. A smile that ain't a smile, the teeth flying us on necks. You see something too, but can't call its name. Bum 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 bum. Ain't it too bad, y'all said? Ain't it too bad, such a nice boy. Always kind to his mother, always say good morning to everybody on his way to work. But that last time before he got locked up and hurt real bad, I seen him walking toward his house and he wasn't smiling. He didn't even say hello. But I knew he'd seen something. Something in the way of things, and it worked on him like a doing will, and he kept marching faster and faster away from us. Never even muttered a word. Then, the next day he was gone. You want to know what I'm talking about? Saying I seen something in the way of things, and how the boy's face looked that day just before they took him away. Isn't that face? And remember now, remember all the other faces and all the many places you've seen him, or the sister with his child wandering up the street. Remember what you've seen in your own mirror and didn't for a second recognize the face, your own face, straining it out from behind the glass. Open your mouth like he was going to say something. Close your eyes and remember what you saw, what it made you feel like. Now, don't you see something else? Something cold and ugly, not invisible, but blended with the shadow crisscrossing the old man squatting by the drugstore at the corner with his head resting uneasily on his folded arms. And the boy that smiled, and the girl he went with. And in my eyes, too, a waving craziness, splitting them into a jet stream of a blackbird, his ass on fire, or the solemn notness of where we go to know we're going to be happy. I seen something, and you've seen it too. You just can't call its name. When I was a kid in Newark growing up, I was a mere kid. I used to read Chinese and Japanese poetry when I was a young kid, which is weird enough. But my sister used to ice skate, you know, we were family. But anyway, I came upon something called a haiku, you know, and so I decided I would create something for Afro-American people called a loku. We don't count the syllables, we don't really have that much time. So it's really just short. That's by Bud Powell called Umpopo Loku. Loku for so what? They asked him the difference between insane and outsane. He said, you know the difference, that's why you asked him. 2 days later they came back, he had left a note, it said the same thing. That's when his picture went up in the post office. The caption read, wanted for any reason you could think of. This meant they really did understand. Question with no air, why are they so crazy? 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 Why? The pet's reward. On Miss Daisy's deathbed, she told Morgan Freeman he was her best friend. So what about the dog? Silent night. Whenever the devil is disguised as God, he is called Santa Claus. Fanon, the cruelest thing the Nazis did, and the most grim, was to turn some of their victims into them. Was it ever so quiet the room began to ask you questions? Adventures in Negrosity. A Negro tried to cash himself for money at a bank. He got arrested as a counterfeit nickel. Culture. European Jews say the devil speaks perfect German. Black Americans, on the other hand, say he speaks pretty good English, too. Locomotive. The devil said he left heaven because there was too many niggas. That's why he started Europe. Diabolical. According to the devil, when he was first thrown out of heaven, he landed in England. I believe him. Heaven appeared with property, God with slavery. Before fortune was money. Finally, everything points to the people and things we understand. Understanding is a point of view. If you look, one looks down from that point. If it is the sun, okay. If you see it, better. If you don't, okay. But for instance, and there you go across the sea to be with the devil. The preparation for pain is minimal. For joy, a lifetime. The preparation for pain is minimum. Enjoy a lifetime. Is that fair, we ask? Is that fair? You mean a fee, a circus, or white people? Bum, 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 bum. The return of Lon Chaney. If you see a Negro with a white ring around his mouth, Uber dust will not help. Bum, 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 bum. Low cool. Craziness is no act. Not to act is craziness. Approve. The American word for Nazi is American. Catch 27. The real problem is you don't know the real problem. Low cool for Bush 2. Low cool for Bush 2. The main thing wrong with you is you ain't in jail. Low cool linguistic for Chute. In Mandarin, the word bush means dumb motherfucker. In the funk world, if Elvis Presley is king, who is James Brown? God? Somebody call a doctor. People don't understand, maybe they overstand. It puzzles them why the children be trying to kill whole cities at once. But they take after them, their parents. They know the old people be killing whole cities at once, and they want to be just like them. The kids just don't understand they're supposed to be doing that in them colored countries, Palestine, Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, Mali. They ain't supposed to be doing that kind of stuff in Colorado or Connecticut. That's sick. Revelations. The worst criminals are completely legal. They have laws saying they can steal. The worst murderers are completely legal. They have laws saying it's perfectly cool for them to kill. Why is this? Because this is hell. Haven't you guessed? The real question is not how to keep from going to hell. The real question is how to get out. The real question is how to get out. This is called upgrade your shit. Defense against Dracula was to hold up a cross and he would shield his eyes and back away drooling. But today in Newark, if you see the mayor, Cory Booker, a photograph of Malcolm X will serve the same purpose. That's cold. It's called ethnically altered film quote. If you can set up a meeting with Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey at an old colored restaurant in Harlem, I'll kill them both. Chasing the ambulance. Chasing the ambulance. Where are you going to go if you don't go nowhere? In a circle of circles. Surround the nowhere of your screen. If you're not going nowhere but there each time, turning on a dime, complaining, screaming your pain, and the devil is evil. Say that. Uno mas. Another again. The devil is evil. The devil is evil. Now, if you want to wake up somebody that the devil is evil, good. Not for that. The devil is evil. Shout louder. The devil is evil. Always been evil. In a circle. Scream that out. If you're not going anywhere, you can start there. Or even before, if you understand what you're screaming, if you understand the meaning, then what do? Turning in circles, shouting, the devil is evil, the devil is evil. Yeah, louder. The devil is evil. Run up and down the streets. Get everybody you know to scream. Listen, listen. The devil is evil. The devil is evil. Now what? Political visionary of note. In the 60s, George Romero warned us about the Tea Parties to come with his movie called Night of the Living Dead. The Swahili word for Holocaust is mafa. So if you ask us how has it been for blacks in America, we say it's been a mafa. religious note. Only heathens would call the Friday before Easter good. So I can move fast because I normally get a half hour. Okay, let me read a longer poem, too long You know, when you read poetry all the time, I don't know if this is true, you actually have to read it to keep yourself interested, you know? But I liked us better when we were quick to throw this in the air. I liked us better when we were shouting and marching and intent on changing everything. I liked us better when we didn't dig our enemies so much, when we were at least suspicious. I liked us better when we traveled in big gangs, not no small gangs, but big-ass gangs, threatening the people who still threaten us. When we charged them for their slavery and lynching and Klan membership, now they took the robes off and put them in their Republican Party briefcases on the way to the House of Representatives. But who do they represent? Not us, but our murderers, the enslavers, the same people who dragged us in iron into the bottom of their boats. I liked us better when we remembered these things and would not just stand there pleading with people who hate us to be civil, because they won't, and you should know it by now. How long is it? 1619, 1719, 1819, 1919, Red Summer. In 6 years, in 7 years, it'll be 26 years, it'll be 2019. If you don't know them by now, you'll never, never, never know them. I liked us better when we were acting like Rosa Parks. Sit where? Actually. I liked us better when we acted like Nat Turner, but got away and shot that Trayvon Martin memorial bullet into somebody's Washington car. I liked us better when we acted like Big Robert Williams, and I was with when he pulled that pistol on the American ambassador in Cuba and demanded he send real police to protect his family in North Carolina. I liked us better when some of our youngest were some of our baddest, when Malcolm and Martin were still in their 30s and talked the most excellent, righteous, anti-racist diatribes in the world. We all liked us better then. And we need to figure that out, black president or not. You need to get it in your knot that that brother's meant to cool us out. We're the most militant, most angry nation in this land, with fire in our souls and smoke pouring out of our eyes. So we have been cool and even made proud by the shroud of Negro, our enemies pulled over, the bleeding victim of our oppression, who lingers right before us, right inside us on the streets, in the prisons and the twisted lies of the butchers, the bleeding victim of our oppression, who lingers right before us, right inside us on the streets, in the prisons and the twisted lies of the butchers, who can even steal the sounds of oppression and enshrine themselves in a rock and roll musician to show us how ignorant we are. I liked this better when the first words of our mouths were, fuck them. This is a longer poem. This is, well, it's called Lonnie's Lament. And I usually do it with a thing of John Coltrane. It's called Lonnie's Lament. It's called Fashion This from the Irony of the World. Fashion This from the irony of the world. That I, the undaunted laureate of the place, daunted in some unassuming pretense of what they see, they be, as if such where they was yet to be, and then to say they is and is not, like Revelations, wow, humans. The skin, the lodging inside dumbness, as like breeze, freeze they speech to speak as if acquainted with small things in the world, eating, belching, farting, murder, robbery, and so. As if, and then too they is, but nothing further but the wee dots on the deletion resembling the minds of them yet to come. Dee-dee-dee, 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 dee-dee-dee. Imagine you were me, or imagine you were thee, and we knew all the things both do and is and will ourselves to be. Imagine you were in this place and they wanted to run everywhere, pointless, endless, understanding not even why they smell or their hair fall out, or what to do about gout. They are yet stupid to colds and cancer and death. They think holy and ultimate. when death is simply a report card of the ignorant. Nothing dies but that which never lived, and it might return in a white suit and in charge of ugly small mistakes. Somebody at Harvard can win $1 billion in a post if they can find out, but they never will, because it is the reason they committed suicide. Suppose you had to live with ignorant white people and Negroes in cages with important chains around their mouths. Suppose you had heard of Trent Lott. Suppose you woke up 1 a.m. and there was a vampire on the tube being interviewed by a Nigolino boob, a handsome rat for whom the idea of brain was only an idea, but you did not think if it could was a bad one. And the boob was a killer. He had to graduate from killer school, so he worshipped the vampire's teeth, the 2 juicy fangs hanging from each end of his lip. The Negro thought was him, and dreamed of having teeth like that so he could be a rat. He was tired of being a mere heel. And the vampire was planning to bite the whole world, to suck the blood out of everything, to suck the blood out of the world and make its future a vampire, take the world through space and suck the blood out of the stars, suck the blood out of the planets, suck the blood out of the moon, suck the blood out of the sun, and then armed and rubbery, blubbery fat with everything's blood still hot and musical like emptiness, he could lift into the outer way gonosphere and search for God, if there was such, and suck the blood out of him, her, it, them, whatever. So there was no blood anywhere, not even your blood. In fact, you'd be the first to go. It was a special issue of Jungle Comics where the vampire, the thin-nosed kind from the outback who can suck with his teeth and stir with his nose, whose eyes are missing, and what you see is the bottom of a coal mine filled with 2,000 fathoms of lynch, execution, missing, raped, cheated, framed, slandered, stolen, thrown, fuzzled ex-corpuscles, hid under the glistening, listening underwater ass craft of the satanic moron cult, whose breath is toxic and pokes holes in the sky so dead things can shit on our food. He is called Fangul, the asshole, and dances to dry lips set on fire by missing junkies he has eaten. He is the devil's newspaper and wears his ass backwards so the colon can wear a uniform. And Revelations can be burned, especially chapter 18, verse 12, where it say, beware of ugly motherfuckers who is not really ugly motherfuckers, but ugly, much, 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 much more ugly than that. So spake Matt. Amen. I speak with the rage of angels, them that be with Mars. I speak with the clarity and inferno of the necessary, like my man John on Patmos watching Sky Vision and digging it was all commercials. I speak like Alibaba, the Arabian Pope, who when he spoke the magic words, open this sucker up, and the mountains swang, in vision one day there would be a John named Chain who would blow the same shit. I'd go with the deep fear of John on the island, looking at the actual devil. And like him, and then I try to count the mammy jammers' heads and horns and find out what will kill him. I speak like him who spoke to Philadelphia and hung out with Jesus before they murdered him. I speak like him who dug that Peter was a coward and gave the Lord up, that Paul was an anti-Semite who never came out of the closet. I speak as one who knew Judas would drop a dime on the movement and confirmed that Chuck had hung his lousy self just before I got busted. I speak as one betrayed by the lies of those who say they're religious, but are greedy, worshippers of Satan, who kill anyone who opposes them and calls it our church in defense against evil. Like John, I would speak, like the John who baptized, like John the Knower, John the Blower, like John the Brown, like John the Revelator. I speak like James the brother, James the other, Jim the hip, like Dick the rude, like Bird the high, like Monk the deep. I speak from the island of my soul and cast a terrified look into the sky filled with monsters and witches and devils and great horrors and beasts and things with heads and horns and blood dripping out of their eyes. Dun, 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 dun. It is out. Imagine you were here in this place, staring into the soul of something filthy, trying to keep it from murdering you, to keep your eyes from registering, your ears from hearing, your mouth from reporting, and you could feel it breathing on your neck and saw sometimes the shadow of its horny hands reaching out of the blind dark. You could see the shadow of its gun, its lie, its teeth sweating. Imagine you could actually understand its obscene ideas and they made you enter the mind of Fred Douglass and stare out the ocean, just as John at the edge of Africa, staring at the overhead commercials on the Death of the Beast. And so the blessing that is in my name and in my words I give to myself, and you who are truthful as the actual life of the world. And it is this blessing which will save us, which will make us strong, as we go on with our work of scientifically determining how to kill the beast. Each night I fill my notebooks with formula and instructions to myself and others on what to do, what to study, where to go, who to talk to and when. I make lists of words, names, events, processes, necessary stages of what we have come to realize is protracted. And what we do, we will do. And what we succeed at is worth the pain. What we fail at is worth the understanding if we can understand what the next step is. We are studying with all our minds and hearts and soul's determination to understand how to slay the serpent. The task Nat handed down to whoever did understand that was what he did, hanging on that tree, slain by the serpent's host. And so we have learned that we cannot die except by our own submission to it. And have decided we will not die except when we understand what place we go to. And so begin to set that where in order and begin to understand where the beast will be hiding there. We are the rider of the black horse. Black horse, black rider, who conquers with a scale, with justice and measure and the mighty pentatonic mode of the finite music of infinity, a new joint. And when I returned from this forwarding of my feeling and knowing, the beast sat still, and teeth wiggled with lies, and at once I remembered where before I'd seen him, before his tenure as a counterfeit ghost in the Caucasian crib. Yes, it was the same one. Remember the little devil Gerald 2X that Malcolm Weston placed in the pages of Muhammad Speaks? And we saw him there where Malcolm had locked him up. And the little horns on his head, the evil eyes, and the twin fanged straws for sucking oil and blood. It got clear to me as he rose to leave. And the Negro boob slobbered happiness at being recognized as the newest commode in the Caucasian abode. The vampire turned, and where before the cunning little tail that used to dangle out his hiney struck me at its absence. Oh, I thought, and at that moment, I saw the thing dart like a copperhead's fart out of the Negro's pale lips, ringed with the white chalk Caucasian circle of merit which identifies wooden Negroes, promoted to the honorary genus of Homo locus subsidiary, literally near man, who no longer kneel when they are made well-paid heels, but now can assume the funky bedbug crouch when they hideously self-hate. At the same time, they are given a great facsimile carte blanche weapon of ugliness to use against inwards and any who would violate the sanctity of northern appetite. And so I came to understand that the beast's deadly arrow shot from the first horseman's white bow, from the white horse, the weapon which Revelations prophesied to John, was the weapon of his transitory rule. It was now the tongue of the bull, who I aired, calling him that, or rat, or heel, or dog, or Laureate. That tail, become a tongue, was the sign that from the vampire's tail was bestowed on a wooden Negro, a badge that allowed him to enter clan meetings, skinhead lynchings, Texas executions, Palestinian ethnic cleansings, and report with the slobber of his terrificacious white ring, serpent's beak, symbol, font, and punctuation on the tabula rasa of the media sheet, the empty echo of his eviscerated self. And in the soul's place, that beast's tail was hung, that beast's tail was sung, and in the soul's place, that beast's tail was hung, that beast's tail was sung. And I stood remembering pathos and the images that sailed across the air when you and I was there, and wondered what next the world of this life held for those who love goodness. I'm going to end with this last poem. Got me in a lot of trouble. No, boy. The first time they wrote a poem, they locked me up, but the second time they just wanted to take the money. So I said, gee, this is civil rights progress. This is called Somebody Quote Maryland. I was the poet laureate momentarily in New Jersey. I sent this poem out to a lot of people. I wrote it a month after 9/11. because I never believed that stuff. And I got a lot of response. People say, well, you know, a lot of people liked it, a couple didn't. Then, for some strange reason, the governor agreed in New Jersey, appointed me the poet laureate of New Jersey. I told him at the time, he must not read poetry. You don't have any idea what you're doing. You know. I tried to warn me so I could handle it. So, after I read the poem at the Dodge Poetry Festival to a couple of thousand people, the next day he called me up and said, you got to resign and apologize. You must have the wrong person. Ironically, though, a year later, the governor had to apologize and resign. You know, let's see how God don't love others. He was having a homosexual affair with one of his aides. But I thought if he was gay, he would just come out and say, yeah, I'm gay, I'm the governor, now what? I need to go through all these changes. Now he's in a seminary, which I won't comment on. This is called Somebody Blew Up America. Dum, 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 dum. Somebody blew up America. All thinking people oppose terrorism, both domestic and international, but one should not be used to cover the other. Somebody blew up America. They say of some terrorist, some barbaric Arab in Afghanistan. It wasn't our American terrorists. It wasn't the Klan or the skinheads or the them that blows up nigger churches or reincarnates on death row. It wasn't Tripod or David Duke or Giuliani or Schumer. Helms retired. No, Helms dead. It wasn't the gonorrhea in costume, the white cheek diseases that have murdered black people. Terrorized reason and sanity, most of humanity as they please. They say, who say? Who do the same? Who is them paying? Who tell the lies? Who in disguise? Who had the slaves? Who got the bucks out the bucks? Who got fat from plantations? Who genocided Indians, tried to waste the black nation? Who lived on Wall Street, the first plantation? Who cut your nuts off? Who raped your mom? Who lynched your pop? Who got the tar? Who got the feathers? Who had the match? Who set the fires? Who killed and hired? Who say to God and still be the devil? Who the biggest only? Who the most goodest? Who the Jesus was in? Who created everything? Who the smartest? Who the greatest? Who the richest? Who say you ugly and they the good lookingest? Who defined art? Who defined science? Who made the bombs? Who made the guns? Who bought the slaves? Who sold them? Who call you them names? Who say Dahmer wasn't insane? Who stole Puerto Rico? Who stole the Indies, the Philippines, Manhattan, Australia, and Hebrides? Who forced open on the Chinese? Who owned the buildings? Who got the money? Who keep you funny? Who lock you up? Who owned the papers? Who owned the slave ship? Who run the army? Who the fake president? Who the ruler? Who the banker? Who owned the mind? Who twists your mind? Who got bread? Who need peace? Who you think need war? Who owned the oil? Who do no toil? Who owned the soil? Who is not a Negro? Who is so great ain't nobody bigger? Who owned the city? Who owned the air? Who owned the water? Who owned your crib? Who rob and steal and cheat and murder, make lies to truth? Who call you uncouth? Who live in the biggest house? Who do the biggest crime? Who go on vacation anytime? Who kill the most niggas? Who kill the most Jews? Who kill the most Italians? Who kill the most Irish? Who kill the most Africans? Who kill the most Japanese? Who kill the most Latinos? Who owned the ocean? Who owned the airplanes? Who owned the malls? Who owned television? Who owned radio? Who owned what ain't even known to be owned? Who owned the owners that ain't to be owners? Who owned the suburbs? Who sub the cities? Who make the laws? Who made Bush president? Who believed the Confederate flag need to be flying? Who talk about democracy and be lying? Who the beast in Revelations? Who's 666? Who decide Jesus get crucified? Who the devil on the real side? Who got rich from Armenian genocide? Who the biggest terrorists? who changed the Bible, who killed the most people, who do the most evil, who don't worry about survival, who had the colonies, who stole the most land, who ruled the world, who said he good but don't do evil, who the biggest executioner, who owned the oil, who want more oil, who told you what you think that lady you find out a lie, who found them lady, maybe they say, who paid the CIA, who knew the bomb was going to blow, who know why the terrorists learned to fly in Florida and San Diego, who know why 5 Israelis was filming the explosion and cracking their sides at the ocean, who need fossil fuel when the sun ain't going nowhere, who make the credit cards, who get the biggest tax cut, who walked out of the conference against racism. Who killed Malcolm, Kennedy, and his brother? Who killed Dr. King, who would want such a thing? Are they linked to the murder of Lincoln? Who invaded Grenada? Who made money from apartheid? Who keep the Irish a colony? Who overthrew Chile and Nicaragua later? Who killed David Sebeco, Chris Hani, the same ones who killed Biko, Cabral, Neruda, Allende, Che Guevara, Sandino? Who killed Kabila, the ones who wasted Lumumba, Munlane, Betty Shabazz, Princess Di, Ralph Featherstone, Little Bobby? Locked up Mandela, Deruba, Geronimo, Asada, Mumia, Garvey, Dashiell Hammett, Althea Sutton. Who killed Huey Newton, Fred Hampton, Medgar Evers, Mikey Smith, Walter Rodney? Was it the ones who tried to poison Fidel? Who tried to keep the Vietnamese oppressed? Who put a price on Lenin's head? Who put the Jews in ovens and who helped them do it? Who said America first and okayed the yellow stars? Who killed Rosa Luxemburg, Liebknecht? Who murdered the Rosenbergs and all the good people iced, tortured, assassinated, banished? Who got rich from Algeria, Libya, Haiti, Iran, Iraq, Saudi, Kuwait, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Jordan, Palestine? Who cut off people's hands in the Congo? Who invented AIDS? Who put the germs in the Indians' blankets? Who thought of the Trail of Tears? Who blew up the Maine and started the Spanish-American War? Who got Sharon back in power? Who backed Batista, Hitler, Bilbo, Chiang Kai-shek? Who decided affirmative action had to go? Reconstruction, the New Deal, the New Frontier, the Great Society. Who do Tom S. Clarence work for? Who do come out the Colin's mouth? Who know what kind of skeezer is a Condoleezza? Who paid Connolly to be a wooden Negro who give Genius Awards to Homologa subsidiary? Who overthrew Nkrumah? Bishop? Who poisoned Robeson? Who tried to put Du Bois in jail? Who framed Rap Brown, Jamil Alameen? Who framed the Rosenbergs, Garvey, the Scottsboro Boys, the Hollywood 10? Who set the Reichstag fire? Who knew the World Trade Center was going to get bombed? Who told 4,000 Israeli workers at the Twin Towers to stay home that day? Why did Sharon stay away? Who? Explosion of an owl, the newspapers say the devil's face could be seen. Who? Who make money from war? Who make dough from fear and lies? Who want the world like it is? Who want the world to be ruled by imperialism and national oppression and terror, violence and hunger and poverty? Who is the ruler of hell? Who is the most powerful? Well, you know, you ever seen God? But everybody's seen the devil. Like an owl exploding in your life, in your brain, in yourself. Like an owl exploding in your life, in your brain, in yourself. Like an owl who knows the devil all night, all day. If you listen, like an owl exploding in fire, we hear the questions rise in terrible flame, like the whistle of a crazy dog, like the acid vomit of the fire of hell. Who and who and who?